Hello, and thank you for your interest in Innovative Medical Practice Solutions Certified Electronic Medical Record. I'd like to quickly give you an overview of what it is that you're looking at the moment. On the left side, this is what we refer to as the patient tree. With the patients will be located here. Underneath the patient name would be the components. Basically, these are the components of the paper chart that you currently have in your office now. Encounters, this is a matter of semantics. It's what we refer to as any type of an encounter, a visit between the facility and the patient, whether it's an office visit or a telephone call, that type of thing. That would then be stored under the encounters folder. Next to that, we have a scheduler that's built into the software, and if the facility uses a scheduler, it will write back to the EMR of each appointment that patient has had with this particular facility. Underneath that is the next thing over is prescriptions. We have electronic, e-prescribe. We currently are using SureScripts to do that. And what will happen with that is when the provider logs on and writes an electronic prescription, it will then write it back to the electronic medical record software and will be stored here with the date and the type of medication that was prescribed. The last component of the chart is the attachments, and that would be all of that external paperwork that offices are inundated with on a daily basis, whether it's new patient paperwork or possibly diagnostic reports or lab results, that type of stuff. If it came back, it was faxed in, we would then scan it in. It becomes part of that patient's digital record. Now, if a patient is not in the patient tree and we need to do some sort of a documentation on that person, we would simply go over to search charts. At that point, we could pull up the patient's chart by record number, chart ID number, last name. We would search for that person, select them. It would then immediately bring them over to the patient tree, open their chart, and allow us to now move and progress to the next task that we need to do with that patient. The next step over is what we refer to as chart detail. Now, chart detail is really the pulse or the heartbeat of the patient, if you will. A lot of things dealing with quote-unquote meaningful use will be stored here in chart detail for ease of use. All of the patient demographics, in this case, is automatically brought over from the billing software. You will see, preferred language, race, ethnicity. These are all things dealing with meaningful use. Down below are our allergies, our diagnoses, our medications. Again, part of meaningful use. Under personal information, you have your smoking status, your patient resources. We have patient reminders over here. We have medical history, which is your family history, possible medical/social history. Again, this is the heartbeat or the pulse of the patient. A lot of things dealing with meaningful use, we tried to keep it right here underneath the chart detail button for easy usability. Now, in order to begin to document, all we do is we go up to New. That will bring up a box asking us, what are we doing now, whether it's an inbound or outbound phone call. In this case, I'm going to do an encounter. So I'm simply going to pull up my default, which brings up an encounter form that we developed for meaningful use. Encounter status, arrived, reason for visit, sore, right arm. As we move on down, we have medication reconciliation. We can ask the patient which of these medication history are we still on. If so, that could be copied over to the current medication list. Down below that is our diagnoses, and you'll notice I have 4 listed here. They directly correspond with the diagnoses that's here in the chart detail. So you'll notice that I can, I can actually remove a diagnosis here if it was not part of that date of service, or I could add one on in the fly. I could search by code or by description. I could add to current diagnoses list, which would then add it to here, my history of the diagnoses, and in turn make up my counter for up-to-date problem list, go up 1 click for meaningful use. On the right side over here are procedures, where if the facility wanted, they could send back CPT codes across for billing purposes. Under the Orders tab, here we have lab orders or diagnostic orders, where we could order some sort of, say, chest x-ray. Over here we have the progress note. What I'm going to do is we have the ability to use voice recognition as the main impetus for documentation. Although we can type, we can use pick list, point and click, that type of thing. What I'm going to do now is turn my microphone on and dictate out a quick note for us to see how the voice recognition works. The patient, who is a 49-year-old white male, presents with right arm pain related to some cervical neuropathy, period. EMG testing reviewed, period. The patient has tried several medications designed to help with neuropathy, such as Neurontin, none of which have given him any reasonable relief, period. He continues on a fairly aggressive pain management regimen, period. He is alert, oriented, period. He is in distress secondary to his right arm pain, otherwise appears in his usual state of health, period. Temperature is 97.5, period. Heart rate is 76, period. Respiratory rate is 20, period. Blood pressure is 98/60, period. Other than weakness in the right arm, he is grossly intact, period. New paragraph. Insert review of systems. Numeral 1, period. Chronic right arm pain and radiculopathy, period. New line. Numeral 2, period. Brachial neuritis, period. We will start Ron on Lyrica and follow up with him in approximately 2 weeks, period. Okay, now that was voice recognition. Up in the subjective area, obviously the patient is going to be complaining about this and that, so that was freelance dictation. Down in the objective area, I said insert review of systems. That's what we refer to as a voice macro, and it could be simply something as simple as I say insert normal heart, but what it prints is no murmurs, no rubs, period. As you begin to use the system, you will realize that there are things that you say over and over until you're blue in the face. Those are the things that we like to try to make into a voice macro, which instead of dictating out 40 different individual words, we could simply do a 3-word macro, which would put a sentence, a paragraph, 3 pages of information. Just populate your template. Bam, bam, bam. Done. Sign. On to your next patient. Now, in this case, what we want to do is we want to take it from this encounter form and we want to make it into a template that's easy to read. I'm going to say create note from template. Each one of these blue boxes directly corresponds with some sort of other template, whether it's a SOAP note all the way up to a level 5 history and physical H&P. So in this case, I'm going to select the template that I would like to use. It's going to automatically bring in what we dictated together. There's our reason for visit, our diagnoses. There's what we dictated. Now all I do is I go up to sign. I put in my password, sign and close. Same thing with my encounter form, password, sign and close. Now when I go back over to my encounters underneath that patient, here's the date of service, January 27, 2014, the time. And here is the encounter form that went with that date of service, and here's the note that went along with it. Now you'll notice that the colors are no longer in this note. That is because it has been signed. It has been encrypted for HIPAA. You can make absolutely no changes to the original, but you can go up and append the original. And this could be something as simple as if I said that there was pain down the right side when really it was down the left side. I could simply go up and append the original, append the original, which is med legal. Now, the last thing over here is I would go and highlight the assessment and the plan, go up to my referral area, select the referring physician that I want to send the referring letter off to. It automatically addresses it to that referring physician, puts in the reason for visit, what I'm going to do to fix the patient. Now I will sign off on that, sign and close, and sign off on that. Now what we have is under the date of service, we have our encounter detail, our note is done, and our referral letter is done and sent off to the referring physician. Now again, there are many, many more things that are involved here with this certified piece of electronic medical record software. But what we have done is we have kept it easy to use. And we would be glad to talk with you and speak with you more and show you more of how this can help you in your daily practice. Again, we appreciate your interest, and we would like to hear more from you. You can reach us at toll-free 855-636-4EMR. Again, that's toll-free 855-636-4367. And again, thanks for your interest in innovative medical practice solutions.